everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. Today everyone, we're going to be continuing with the Learn Astrology series, and today I'm going to be discussing Taurus and basically just again sharing with you exactly how to understand Taurus in the birth chart, what is the fundamental essence that Taurus as an archetype is representing to us. And so then by doing that, you can really have a stronger sense of where the Taurus archetype in your life is actually working, okay? All right, so the first thing that we've got to do is look at the introduction video. That one will just tell you specifically how to orientate yourself around this. Like the other series that I do, this is not something that requires it, okay? But it is something that does give you an understanding of how I approach the astrology in the way that I do, okay? All right, so Taurus, what are we dealing with here? Well, fundamentally, the archetype of Taurus is situated as a feminine energy. It's so therefore yin, and the energy is now moving from the external reality into the source, okay? So in Aries, we were moving outwards, and now Taurus is coming backwards, and it's like the breath. We exhale, and we inhale, and the inhalation is the yin energy, inhalation is the Taurus archetype, okay? It's ruled by Venus, and it is co-ruled by Venus, should I say, and it correlates to the inner side of Venus. So from that basis, we are looking at a core archetype that correlates to survival, okay? It is the essential archetype of survival. And from that process of instinctual survival, and because it is an archetype that is existing beneath the wheel, as it were, it is very subjective. So it's your survival instincts, your survival needs, okay? From that process, Taurus in itself will then naturally manifest, what do I need? What resources are available around me that can sustain me, that can allow me to survive? And it's from there then we start to then attain values that are associated with Taurus, okay? So you'll see many definitions float around that Taurus correlates to values. What do you value? And the reason why that's the case is because at the bottom of Taurus, beyond the human conditioning, is the psychological, or should I say, is the impulse of survival, okay? So what resources are around me? What do I need to survive? And even in plants, this applies to nature as well, because nature is actually teaching us these natural archetypes. And we and nature are interconnected, and so therefore this happens that way. So survival, and then what do I need to survive, i.e. my resources? How do I go about collecting those resources? And then how do I value those resources? Because then they facilitate something that is keeping me alive, okay? Now, from that process through the psyche, what we have here is the nature of money. And of course, because much of the consciousness on the planet today is influenced through manipulation and fear propaganda, many of us are stuck in that root chakra. And so therefore, Taurus correlates to money in a sense of the need for survival. And we neglect some of the more higher dimensional states of consciousness that are necessary for our spiritual journeys and such. And so the archetype of materialism represents to us the feeling of security, and I'm surviving because I have materialism around me. And because of that, what naturally happens with Taurus is that there's an archetype of like, I have to hold on to as much stuff as possible because subconsciously I have past life traumas or experiences through life where things have been taken away from me, and therefore those things represented my survival, and so therefore I need to hold on to my stuff. Whereas the polarity point of Scorpio teaches us the necessity to share and know that abundance comes through sharing as well. Okay, so values, needs, and survival is what Taurus correlates to. Taurus is ruled by the inside of Venus, so your inner relationship to yourself, okay? What are your needs, what are your values, etc. And then, of course, in this process, how we gather resources, how we sustain ourselves, all right? So I'm going to go to the PDF, and I'll just quickly show you how Taurus is actually built through the natural zodiac, all right? So Taurus, this is where we are right now, okay? So here's Aries, and everything went out, and now it's coming back, all right? Yin energy. So Taurus has naturally got its helpers from Pisces and Cancer, the water signs, and they sextile each other, all right? 30 degrees plus another 60, or put on me 30 plus 60. And so again, as I said, these are worker bees, they're helpers, they help Taurus operate in a way. So Pisces naturally influences Taurus by recognizing that there is an abundance of resources in the reality in which we exist within, okay? In the world, in nature, in life. And we just need to seek beyond our physical senses in order for us to understand how those resources naturally manifest. This is also the archetype where we naturally manifest and externalize our needs in relationships. Because Pisces correlates to the externalization and separation from source, i.e. realizing that you are the center of your own beingness, we basically project our needs into the relationship that cause us to then have disillusionment through the realization that we were actually, and this is where Cancer comes in, the security needs that are emanating from Taurus. Taurus are going, I need to survive, so therefore I need to keep myself secure. And so therefore I project those needs into relationships for that. And what happens is that we naturally cause these situations in our lives where our partners or people do something that is out of ordinary, and really if we pay attention to what was causing a sense of argument or discomfort, most of the time it's that we needed them to act a certain way in order for us to make ourselves feel secure because of that nature of consistency. I've expanded quite a lot over here, and it's a very incredibly powerful archetype to understand these sextiles, because they teach us a lot about relationships, and maybe I'll do a workshop on it at some point. Okay, so in Taurus, it's sextiles to Cancer. As I said before, it's how we emotionally nourish ourselves, how we create emotional needs. So in Taurus, this is our physical needs. These are emotional needs. These are our spiritual needs, as it were, in that way. And those are what the sextiles do for us. Then Taurus extends itself to Leo. And this is where we lose, or we basically attach our heart chakra to the sense of survival. Many souls, including myself at this stage, do the things for survival, i.e. for my sustenance, right? I work with YouTube and I do astrology, etc. And it's my heart chakra, it's my feeling of special purpose. And there's a natural square between Taurus and Leo that teaches us that we align our sense of creative passions and desires, etc., with our physical needs in that way, and we can actually sustain it through following our dreams. And then also the square teaches us when we are, in a sense, in its connection to Scorpio, this is the archetype of procreation of children, because Taurus in itself, because of the nature of survival, points to the relationship to need to survive and therefore procreate in order for our species to survive, as I said. And we do that with other souls in Scorpio, and we naturally create the Leo archetype, which is the child. And our inner child is something that we also recognize through the square over here, how we facilitate and sustain our inner child's needs. Pretty cool square that teaches us over there. Taurus then also makes a beautiful trine towards Virgo, and this trine just teaches us the need for routines, the need for health, the need for a sense of service, our value and competence that we can give to the world in that way, because again, our values, what we are valued towards something, and how our competence is associated with it. If you come into a work environment and you say, hey, I've got no skills whatsoever, somebody comes along and says, I've got all the skills, the possibility of you being hired by the Capricorn authority is going to be likely when you've got skills and a sense of value that you can offer the whole entire society. So it teaches us the necessity to gain competence, to learn more, to improve, etc. So Taurus now makes an inconjunct 150-degree angle to Libra, and it teaches us how when we are in relationships, we are always finding people that are in alignment with our own values, but we also learn through relationships the difference between other people's values and our own. And that's where the archetype of Pisces connects to Taurus, and it teaches us that necessity to, through disillusionment, realize that we do have different values and different needs in comparison to other people, and that they are unique to our own. And we come to awareness through that inconjunct, that realignment angle. The polarity point, which I'd missed in the Aries, by the way, is Scorpio, and Scorpio teaches Taurus to say, don't stay in one place all the time. You need to evolve, so therefore you need to confront your limitations. The inconjunct between Taurus and Sagittarius teaches us the importance that our values are always linked with our belief systems, and in fact most of the time we always attach a sense of value to what we believe, and that's what facilitates that belief structure. Taurus makes a beautiful trine towards Capricorn, and of course again that's the value that you offer society, that's the value you offer your authorities, it's the value that you offer your own authority within yourself, and how you establish those needs for your direction in life. If you want to become an astrologer, what do you need in order to do that? So you need a sense of skills regarding a technique. If you're going to do Vedic astrology, if you're going to do mundane astrology, etc., etc. How do you add the value to the overall definition of whatever it is that you're doing? Taurus squares Aquarius, and this will teach us the necessity to recognize indifference in our values, how we can offer values to the group, or what our resources are to the group. It also teaches us the necessity of how groups have different values and different needs, and it realigns that in that process, okay? Fantastic, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this Learn Astrology Taurus clip. If you want to learn more about astrology in itself, I do have a school. I do also have videos that are created specifically to teach you more about them, where I go in depth in a 45-minute video. I'm busy creating one on Pluto, so wherever Pluto is in your astrology chart, I basically take, say for instance, if you got Pluto in Aries or Pluto in the first house, I'll go around the entire zodiac telling you exactly how to understand your Pluto in your birth chart so that you can fully encompass its lessons. So if you're interested in that, I should have that up within the next 2 weeks or so. I will be advertising that for everybody to see and be a part of more astrology knowledge and to empower yourself. This is the main purpose here. This is not about just getting some tips, etc. It's actually here to empower you as a human being in a world where there is consistent disempowerment. Okay? Great, guys. Have a fantastic day. Take care. Bye-bye.